But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and when this happens, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. Sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners, will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood? I have a dream. I have a dream.
Yeah, I had a dream too, making money, fucking honey, staying blunt and sipping goose, locked up. God's way of saying, Cam, this ain't you. Now I study with the honey, it's kinda funny, life took a U-turn. I just had to crash and burn, but it took what it took for this young man to learn. And getting back up was my only concern. Now I'm at the peak of the mountaintop, Mount Vern, Western, new home. Degree on my dome, achievement like a last second pass in the end zone. But I know it was all him above, and men like Dr. King preaching nothing but love. My life was broke, but his words was to cast eyes on the future and forget about the past. He say,
free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. I have a dream.
What's that?
Free at last. I have a dream. Free at last. I have a dream. Free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. I have a dream. Free at last. Sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners, will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood? I have a dream.
And that dream came true, made his dream into reality for me and you. Some hoe took his life, but that's all that's gone. Killed the messenger, but the message still live on. It's immortal, won't die by the gun. Don't run, God's will already been done. I'm positive, like a half full glass, but I ain't water in a glass. Kiss my ass, bitch, I'm
free at last.
Or at last I'm free, like a bird flying high with 10 sets of wings. But it's hard to live a life with love and tolerance to code. Aw shit, where I heard that before. Yeah, a man wiser than me, I say thank you, Dr. Martin Luther King. Guess some people listen to the wisdom you'd speak. Blacks and whites together, the product was me.
I have a dream.
What's that?
Free at last. I have a dream. Free at last. I have a dream. Free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. I have a dream. I have a dream. I have a dream. Free at last. I just want to do God's will. Thank God Almighty. I have a dream. At last.
At last. You finally did it to him. Them folks, they stopped, dropped, roll when you spoke that fire wisdom to him. You need to know whose will you doing. No doubt there's much more to it. Know nothing about this life, but God will help me get through it. Learned that from you, MLK, the truth. Gotta live by your words, even outside the booth. You the prophecy, I'm the prodigy. A life of love is hard, my apologies. But I'm gonna be working on it till I'm out of breath. This man did it from his birth to his death. Enough of my mouth, he gonna go next. And he just trying to get something off his chest. Y'all know he say it best. Doctor?
We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. I've looked over want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
Rest in peace, Doctor. Don't blink.